honestly don't know where to begin, guys. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So lots happened, and first of all, before I even begin, I really appreciate everyone who has followed me through social media and stuff, so y'all know, exactly kind of what's going on, not the whole extent, excuse me, of the situation of what I'm going through with the not posting every week like I should since a couple months ago. I'd say 2 months that I've posted last. And that was just like the interview and like catching up. And it seems like I got to catch up again. So I'll make a little update right now, this little video here, kind of telling you the recent events that are happening, kind of like pinpointing, and then I can like prolong the story further if y'all have any more questions. So first, as you can see, I'm not in my, behind the couch kind of thing. I recently moved, so we got a new place. I'm excited about that. Everything's still either in boxes or on the floor on little piles of where it should go. So maybe once I get everything situated and cleaned up, I'll give y'all a house tour. I'm excited. I'm in a bigger place than I was. I don't think I've given you a proper house tour in the past, but I'll be more than happy to give you one once everything is, tip-top shape. So speaking of tip-top shape, my health is could be better. So if y'all have known back then, in my previous videos where I talked about all the massive bleeding, the fungal, MAC, all the stuff that was going on to me last year, kind of came up again. Like I started coughing a lot more blood, which back in July, I coughed up so much that I was actually put in an ambulance and had to be taken from my house to my hospital, which was the first time I've ever been in an ambulance ride before. I've been in an ambulance, to get checked out and stuff, but not ridden in one, which was really weird. It wasn't uncomfortable, but it was definitely something I wasn't used to. And me, the person I am, I want to do things myself. I don't want to like have people care for me like that. But in this situation, I was so weak and I coughed up so much blood that I pretty much would have gotten blood transfusions if I coughed up any more. So that's why I needed to go be taken and monitored throughout the ride to make sure that I was okay. Now, that was back in July. That's when COVID got really bad. And I'll tell you my whole COVID situation and my thoughts on it on another video because it's really extensive because it had to take a lot of emotional toll with being away from friends and family and not being able to have that human connection that, most people need. I say most because some people don't like socializing. But yeah, I'll make a whole new video on that coming up. There's just a lot to talk about right now. Again, this is just an update video. So my recent hospitalization, as going through July, I had to do an embolization because the bleeding was so massive that I had to. I just went straight from the ER to the surgery room as soon as I got to the hospital. So that wasn't very fun. After that event, I started to feel better. Not 100%, but everything was good. My PFTs were stable, my oxygen levels were stable. No more blood thus far until 3 weeks later. I started having hemoptysis again, but it was more along the lines of little spits here and there. Like it would range from a couple quarter size, quarter size spits to an eighth of a cup of blood, and it from every other day, and it mainly happened right before I went to bed when I laid my head down flat. So me being cautious, I was watching it for a few days and it didn't seem to get better. I tell my doctor and they would want me to go to the ER. So I went to the ER. I kept getting a couple spits every other day. And with a couple of spits, surgery isn't something that they want to do with cystic fibrosis patients because of, causing more infection, whatever what it is to spread, could cause more damage in the lungs if they have to go in. Just all this pros and cons situation with cystic fibrosis patients and seeing what they should do. So they didn't want to do anything. They didn't feel like there was enough blood to risk it. So what they did was they started putting me on a medication called the TXA, which is a tranexamic acid. And what this pill does is it's a safe way of not completely stopping the bleeding, but to minimize the amount. Now, what this pill originally is for like the female I can't pronounce, for the menstruational period of females for like, during their time of the month, kind of stops or lowers the amount to where it's tolerable, because it's a safer way of the drastic amount of, blood clots, because some medications that they take, if you're not careful, can form blood clots in the lungs, legs, arms, because that's what the pill does. It stops bleeding. So this TXA pill is the safest way for cystic fibrosis patients to not have blood clots, form in their lungs to where it's harmful. So I was put on that. At the hospital, they give you inhaled, so they were trying to transfer me from the inhaled stuff to the oral pill tablets that I'll be taking at home to see if it'll help either minimize the bleeding or completely stop it to where it's not as threatening. Because most people with hemoptysis and cystic fibrosis, hemoptysis isn't uncommon. Like, we'll be doing it here and there, but the way I was doing it every other day, they were thinking maybe possibly because my lungs are so damaged and because of all the past with the fungal ball and years of hemoptysis, that could become my new quote-unquote normal. So they put me on the TXA pills and it didn't seem to stop. It didn't seem to slow down. It's still same results as if I was not taking the pill. So I was kind of iffy. But if it was going to be my new normal, then I'd, just kind of have to tolerate it and kind of work my way around it for my daily life. So a couple weeks go by, and the few spits ended up starting to be a little bit more, and then a little bit more, until it was half of a cup. Now, half of a cup is a lot. So again, telling them, they rushed me to the hospital, waiting in the ER for a room because of COVID. The protocols, you got tested for COVID every time when you go in, which indicates, what floor you're going to be put in. Because in the hospitals, each floor is like a COVID versus non-COVID section, so no one collides and no one can get exposed to it. So after I tested negative for COVID, they put me up to a room, which is not my floor because of the hospital protocol with all this COVID stuff going around, that you would have to be put in a floor that's just whatever room's available and whatever floor has space to put you in. So I was in a whole different area. I was in a Rio tower, which is like my hospital has 3 different towers. So I was not even in the same tower as I'm used to. And I have like a little video shoot right here. I'm about to show you all about the little room. Alright everybody, let me show you the room. Pretty standard room, a little bit of difference with where I'm used to on the 5th floor. But let me get a little here. Got your vest, got the, now they're using all the computers inside, so they actually have to come inside to do it because of the new system. This is the little counter space I have, other than the little table here, which is where my PC and gaming is set up. It's connected to the big TV up there. I got my little baby pictures of my dog, since I'm not allowed to have them during the COVID process because I'm not allowed to take, or I can't go outside because of the COVID procedures. But here's a little bit of different things. Oh, hi, you see me? A little bit different than the typical room that I'm used to. Since I'm on the 12th floor of the Rio Tower, I'm technically in the transplant floor. So a little bit of steps different. The way you access the sink is you go over here, you push this down, and then the water comes on. When you want it off, you have to lift up the handle down there. That's where all your linens go, CF board, patient care, and just your typical trash can, sharps. I brought my coffee maker because Starbucks is way too expensive for me to be there for the 2 weeks. You know, my bed. So with this is a little weird. I don't like it because every time when I order food, you can see that it's not in its usual like plastic Tupperwares that keep you warm. Because of COVID, the protocols are a little bit different, and to prevent from, you know, contamination of other people, they use these cheap little paper to-go boxes, which don't keep your food warm at all. My nurses have to usually heat up all my food before it gets in here. That's all the extra stuff that they store. There's another one on the other side for the air and stuff to do my treatments. These are little bags. Since whenever I came here, I was having hemoptysis, so they gave me that to kind of measure. These are all the cabinets I have to store my stuff, like my clothes and other personal items that I bring. As you can see here, the 12th floor, I'm in the ICU part of the hospital, which is an extra precautionary room. I don't want to go too far down the hallway because there are nurses and want to protect their privacy. That's why I'm not going to really show y'all. But right past that door, you have to enter a little room, get sanitized, then come in. But since I'm reverse contact precaution, that, you know, I don't necessarily have to be in the room. All right, this is a weird setup for the bathroom. That's to teleport people. That is to transport people who may have fallen or can't get up. The bathroom is the weirdest thing for me. So you got your, you know, lovely toilet here. That's for someone who can't use the restroom. And then you come here, and it's like a little maze. You have to go through this little hallway, and here we go. Your standard, you know, shower. Flip the handle up and around. It has an actual temperature gauge. And it gets actually pretty hot in this old building, so to my surprise. But yeah, that is the organ transplant room floor. So, pretty standard stuff. But the only thing that I will add is, not other than the lack of space to put your stuff on, you also have this wonderful view of the opposite tower. So as you can see, the rooms aren't like horribly different, but there's like few nitpicks there. Now the room I was in, excuse me, the room that I was in was the transplant floor originally. So all the little nitpick stuff that are different from a regular room is for people who, you know, just got out of surgery of their transplant. It helps indicate little helping hand stuff, like the sink, the handles are on the bottom for you to push down your feet in case like you had like a lung transplant or something, you couldn't really move muscles in your abdomen and stuff. It just helps. basically what it is. So it was all right. I was real comfortable. I did, however, get to bring my gaming setup this time. That was fun. It kept me occupied because, again, this is like the third time I was there this month, and all I was going in for was, monitoring, because again, the last one they didn't want to do anything because my blood was not drastic enough. So this is like my third time in. They're still going to monitor me, even though I did cough up a lot of blood. If I was going to cough up again, then they'd go surgery. But as of right now, I was stable. My blood counts were good. My red blood cells were accumulating accordingly to the amount I coughed up. So I wasn't in a, what's a better word? I wasn't, I was losing blood, but I didn't lose enough to lack the nutrients and energy so the red blood cells could catch up. Now, I'm waiting a couple more days, still coughing up blood, not enough. This time, I really wanted them to do something. Maybe not an embolization, because, with the CT scans and everything, it didn't show up that I was actively bleeding. So I was really pushing them to do a bronchoscopy, which is, they put a camera down your throat and look around your lungs and everything to see if they can even see anything. Any sign of indication that they could go in and fix. Now, bronchoscopies are basically that, just camera, see what they can see, maybe help flush out any thing in your lungs that need to be cleaned. But that's basically what a bronch is. However, I was really praying when they finally said yes to do a bronch that they'd find something. It's always one of those things where you hope they find something, but you hope it's not so drastic that it scares you. At my point in time, I just hope they found something, because I can't keep going in and out of the hospital every other week because of this blood. I just thought it was stupid. So it's either they keep me out of the hospital and let me keep going my daily life of either coughing up a little bit of blood or do something in the hospital. Was my two thought process. Now, I wake up, bronchoscopy went well. They did find something in my lungs, which was a scab from back when I had the fungal ball, my top right lobe. They found like a little scar. They picked at it to bring it to the lab to see what was growing there, if it was the fungal again, or from MAC, or some new bacteria. So, but as they picked that scab, it resulted in it opening up again. Now, again, with the pros and cons, that is a factor. Now, as it opened up, I coughed up a lot more blood because it was a massive bleeding now. So with that, they had to do an embolization because now I'm actively bleeding in a massive amount of blood. So the next day, they go in and they find 5, no kidding, 5 different spots in my lungs that were actively bleeding, not just my scab that they picked off. So they embolized 5 different areas in my top right lobe, which resulted in no more embolizations up there, which, because my scar tissue up there was so torn up and permanently damaged from all the embolization, scar tissue, bleeding, fungus, all this other stuff, that the next step would be, if it ever happens again, like that amount in that area, that they'd have to result in doing a removal of my right upper lobe. Now, if you remember my past video with the fungal ball, they had to take off the top piece right here. This time they'd have to do the whole middle upright right here. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. That'd be the next step. So I've been really not taking it, I'm taking it easy, but trying to not let it get to me, try to have my lungs a fighting chance in doing that. I still, to this day, after the surgery, still coughing up blood, little spits here and there still, with the TXA and with another medicine that they prescribed to me to help with the bleeding. It'll take a little bit to catch an effect, they're hoping, but yeah, that would be my next result. However, in the couple days of my recovery, the test results came in from the bronchoscopy, that little scab that they took, and it is the fungal that's causing me to bleed. The same fungal that they had to take out the ball, the same fungal that I've been fighting with for the past year that I was able to maintain it and to get off the pill to have the Trikafta work a lot better, because in the past video, the Trikafta and the antifungal medications interact with each other. So I wasn't able to take some of my meds. And so now, since I won't be able to take some of my meds, I've just been feeling really bad, like just not eating as much. My lungs are more congested because I'm not able to take my full dose of my Trikafta. I don't have that much energy. Sorry, excuse me. Like, I'm coughing a lot more. I'm bleeding still. So it's taken a big toll on my body. And that's one of the reasons why since July I haven't really been posting as much, if even at all, is because one, it's a lot of information to take in, and two, that I just haven't been feeling the best. And it's not like I don't want to post. I've really been wanting to post, catch all up. It takes a lot of energy to do videos and talk the way I am. And with the lack of oxygen running through my body and the blood that I cough up makes a toll on your body as well, that it's just hard. It is. And I don't want you to feel, bad for me. This is not the reason I say this. I just want y'all to know that if y'all are not following me on social media and y'all are, confused of, oh, why she isn't uploading like she said she is and stuff like that, and just, that's why. I just haven't been feeling 100%, and I'm probably not going to be able to feel 100% because of the fungal doesn't go away or doesn't start to take an effect of disappearing within 3 to 6 months of taking medications and stuff. So it's going to be a couple months before, I get back to, my upbeat self, or how I was. So, yeah, I really appreciate y'all taking your time of your day to listen to me, film my updates. I will try to, I have a couple video ideas I need to get out. Kind of roughly the same time as my hospitalization this time. So hopefully I'll be able to get, something done there. Just, if y'all haven't, follow me on my social media. I have a Facebook page and I have a Twitter that I just made for this account. And I post every day, so y'all can get caught up on, upcoming videos. If y'all have any questions for me, feel free to DM me on my Twitter, Facebook Messenger. So I'll leave those descriptions down in the description box of this video. And without further ado, I hope y'all have a wonderful day. And thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.